Hello ladies and gentlemen out there on YouTube, and welcome to race number 23 of Season 9 of the NNSCRA Marvel Studios Cup Series. I am Levi McIntyre, the voice of the NNSCRA Marvel Studios Cup Series, here to welcome you to the New England 400 here at Boston International Speedway as we are getting set for 45 laps of racing at this hybrid of a plate track and a Dover style short track, whatever this monstrosity you could call it, but it should be an interesting race to say the very least. But let's take a look at the lineup. In the last row we have teammates Cole Deaver, William Brock. Top 10, Charles Sanford on the pole for today, with Quentin Moore next to him. Row 2, Jesse Turner, Jonathan Zorline. Row 3, Mitchell Collins, Daniel Bouchard. Row 4, Dylan Jacobs, Joey Parkhill. And row 5, Scott Groverston, Seth Cole. Let's get the command to fire engines here at Boston.
Drivers, start your engines!
Now all 40 drivers on the racetrack for the pace lap here. Yeah, we're getting close to the nitty-gritty of the season. After today's race, there are only 13 left in the season, and the championship battle should start to get revved up in a big way. Perhaps starting here today, we shall see, as we'll get into it once we get through some racing. But yeah, this should be a great race nonetheless, as the pace car pulls in the pit road really late. But ladies and gentlemen, it's time to boogity 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 go racing. Well, Charles Sanford led the first lap, and according to the scoring, Jay Jefferson's out of the race because of something to do with his tire? That is really, really bizarre. I don't think I've ever seen that in the history of this game. Somebody being out of the race with a tire problem. That is really, really weird, and that's a tough, tough heartbreak for Jay Jefferson, because even though he fell 5 spots in points after our previous race at Armory Digital, he was starting to climb his way up, and now he's going to end up falling even further in points, which is definitely going to be a heartbreak for him. But anyways, we just had a lead change. Quentin Moore has just taken the lead over from Charles Sanford. But going back to what I was saying earlier, and now Sanford with a crossover move trying to get the spot back. But as I was going to say earlier, so the championship battle right now is more likely going to come down to one of two drivers, Scott Groverston and Zachary Fitzwater, as they have both been the dominant cars and drivers all season long. And we're going to take a look at their stats as of right now. So coming into the race today, Groverston, 2 wins, 7 top 5s, 11 top 10s with an average finish of 14.6. And then Zachary Fitzwater, and keep this in mind, Fitzwater missed a race early in the season when the qualifying format was different. So he ended up missing a race. He comes in with 1 win, 7 top 5s, 9 top 10s, average finish of 13.8, but he's 25 points behind the 42 car. So had Fitzwater made that one race he missed, if he had had a good finish, he might have perhaps been the points leader now, or at the very least become very close. But regardless, it's been between those two all season long, and unless something really drastic happens over the next 13 races after today, I don't see anybody else coming in to try and dethrone the 42 and the 12. But back to the action at hand up here at the front. Quentin Moore still hanging on. Mitchell Collins starting to make some noise as he's now up to second and actually closing in on the 27 of Quinton, and now running a lower lane than the 27, trying to get that extra time to make the move on the 27. And it's rookies up here fighting it out for the lead. Actually, right up here at the front, you got 3 rookies in the top 5, as Daniel Bouchard is in there, and Daniel Bouchard definitely back in a better way after he experienced the worst crash of the season so far back at Armory Digital, where he flipped over, barrel rolled, and went end over end 25 times in a wacky crash back at Armory Digital. But right now running strong in 4th, as Mitchell Collins really trying to make a run for the 27 of Quinton Moore, and he's there to the inside. It's just right now the outside line's just carrying a lot more momentum off of the corners, and the bottom lane not really able to pick up. Well, it depends on the driver. Like there, I see Daniel Bouchard actually got the inside line going, but Mitchell Collins, I guess, maybe just doesn't have the speed to run the bottom to make the pass, at least for the time being. Although he gave a little nudge to the 27 right there, so it almost was like as if the 22 was thinking about pulling a bump and run, but decided against it. Because after all, we just gotten this race started, no need to go crazy right off the gate. But most of the top 10 are very close together, so really anybody in the top 10 has a chance. It's just a matter of making the right moves at the right time and then going for it. And now, battle on for second as Mitchell Collins' momentum is just completely gone. And Daniel Bouchard has got a fast car. And wow, look at the move the 19's pulling. Made the pass on the outside of Collins off of turn 4. And thought about making the pass on the inside of Quinton in the turn 1. So Daniel Bouchard's definitely a wild man out there, although running the bottom definitely did not help matters right there, as Mitchell Collins actually takes second back for the moment. But here in just a moment, we're going to do our best to do a full field rundown to see how things look on the racetrack right now. So, excuse me. As Quinton Moore, ever since he took the lead from Charles Sanford, nobody's been able to pass him, but it could change in a dime. You never know what can happen. But the full field rundown as we're approaching 30 laps to go. Quinton Moore is currently your leader. Second, Mitchell Collins. Third, Daniel Bouchard. Fourth is Charles Belding. Fifth, Jonathan Zorline. Sixth is Carson Gumbs. Seventh, Dylan Poteet. Eighth, Charles Sanford. Ninth, Trey Wright. 10th, Jesse Turner. 11th, Seth Cole. 12th is Dylan Jacobs. 13th, or at least 13th now, is Henry Durand. 14th, Scott Groverston. 15th, James Qualls. 16th, Alexander Rose. 17th, Daniel Voiles. 18th, Jordan Forbes. 19th, Ryan Acosta. 20th, Ashlyn Boyd. 21st is Melissa Alexander. 22nd is Dylan Young. 23rd, Rafael Leduc. 24th, Joey Parkhill. 25th, Patrick Smith. 26th is Henry Sanford. 27th, Alyssa Drayson. 28th, Caleb Kilburn. 29th, Zachary Fitzwater. 30th, Michael Norman. 31st is Jackson Traeger. 32nd, Matt McIntyre. 33rd, Jessica Shelton. 34th, Cody Lamas. 35th, Jordan Lopez. 36th, Keith Miller Jr. 37th, Cole Deaver. 38th, Kyle Matthews. And then 39th, William Brock, with Jay Jefferson being the only car out of the race after he didn't even get to take the green flag because of something to do with his tire, which I am still confused about. But anyways, Quinton Moore starting to, well, he was growing his lead. Now it's shrunk a little bit as Mitchell Collins still hanging on in second, but here comes Charles Belding in the 91 to try and spoil the party for the 22. Yeah, you can definitely tell a speed difference between both lanes, especially off of corner exit. And it was a dead heat at the line, but Belding manages to get second for the time being, and now will clear Mitchell Collins for the spot as we're watching it on the TV2 cam. And Carson Gums throwing his name in the hat to try and get up to the front. And Carson Gums still been carrying some momentum, moved up to 8th in the point standings after the race on Monday at Armory Digital. It's just a matter of keeping that momentum going. That's the big question. Let's go to spectator camera and watch from the fans' perspective of all of this going on the racetrack. Back to the normal camera, and almost 0.6 of a second between Quentin Moore and Charles Belding, but you gotta wonder about pit stops. When will pit stops occur? Because they will not be able to make it on gas and tires the rest of the race on like this. And Quentin Moore, like I said, ever since he's passed Charles Sanford for the lead, he's just been up at the front, but not by a large margin. He's only been leading by a slim margin, especially on that lap, as Belding managed to gain 1/10 of a second on Quentin Moore, and I think it might be attributed to Mitchell Collins kind of helping him out a little bit, but now Quentin Moore coming down into pit road, so right on the halfway mark, Quentin Moore and Charles Sanford, the two leaders of the race, in the pit road. But I think everybody will make it on gas the rest of the way, so that's a good thing. Anyways, Charles Belding now with the race lead for the time being, but Mitchell Collins thought about making the move, but decided against it. And is everybody up here at the front coming in? Yes, they are, and Ryan Acosta and a few others actually gonna stay out for a little bit. Only a small pool of cars stayed out on that lap, and the leader in that mess was Ryan Acosta, so Acosta gets that valuable bonus point for leading a lap. Meanwhile, a little hornet's nest back here with Melissa Alexander, Dylan Young, and others, but they are coming into pit road. Ryan Acosta now in, but Alexander Rose staying out another lap. And he will get about a valuable bonus point. So Alexander Rowe, I believe, yep, Alexander Rowe is the only one yet to come to pit road. Looks like there might have been some contact on pit road with some cars. That could change the complexity of the race if necessary. And right there, Quentin Moore manages to get by Charles Belding. So if things cycle around properly, then Quentin Moore will more than likely get the lead back. Although, look at Charles Belding, came in out of nowhere, and now he's up here trying to pass Quentin Moore. While this is not the battle for the lead yet, this is more than likely going to be the battle for the lead. Charles Belding trying to find a way around Quentin Moore. But Quentin Moore just has that very good car underneath of him, that good engine. And Quentin Moore actually going for his 3rd career win and 3rd overall this season to tie Ashland Boyd for the most wins this season so far with 3. But Charles Belding looking for his 1st win of the season and also right now looking into his first top 5 finish of the season. There's only a small number of drivers yet to get a top 5, and that includes Seth Cole, Melissa Alexander, Riley Henry, Charles Belding, Charles Sanford, Arthur Xavier, Trey Wright, Stephen Colon, and Jackson Traeger. So not that many drivers that have yet to score a top 5. Yet everybody has scored at least one top 10 this season, which is really good. But right now, Charles Belding still trying to find a way to get by Quentin Moore. Can he make the pass here off of turn 2? He does. New leader Charles Belding finally gets by Quentin Moore. But now can he keep the lead? That's the question. As the laps continue to wind down, as we've been clean and green this whole time, despite Jay Jefferson being done for today because of a tire problem. Now, the other big question, will Mitchell Collins try and catch up to the top two and make it a three-car battle? That remains to be seen, as the last lap, Collins was way slower than the top two and was only less than a second behind. Let's see, this time, now, yeah, he definitely lost ground, so don't know if Mitchell Collins, unless he can rebound, I don't know. But anyways, Quentin Moore looking to try and get the lead back. Who's ran the fastest lap of the race? Let's see. Jordan Lopez at a 24.225. That is blazingly fast, especially in racing conditions. Qualifying, that's basically a standard qualifying lap. But regardless, Dylan Young was back in the pit road. I wonder what was going on with him. 4 laps down, possibly about to go 5 laps down at some point. So tough break for Dylan Young, which is weird. I don't know why he was in pit road for so long. But now he's about to go 5 laps down courtesy of Charles Belding. But anyways, Mitchell Collins really slow on the track, but look who's been blazing his way up through the field. Dylan Poteet. I just noticed, like, Poteet, I think at one point was like in 6th, 2.5 seconds back, and now up to 4th, only, let's see, at the line here, 1.6 seconds back. So it looks like Poteet, if we stay clean and green and he keeps doing what he's doing, or actually no, 1.3 seconds back, excuse me. He actually might have something for Charles Belding if he can keep up what he's doing. And now he has caught second place, Quentin Moore. And Quentin Moore has been slow ever since the pit stops. Charles Belding, and I think this might be an attribute to it, Belding having to deal with Dylan Young, is Dylan Young trying to race him, which I don't know why he's doing that. But this is actually helping Dylan Poteet, who is now finally past Quentin Moore. Now he's just got one more car in his sight, and that is Charles Belding. And at the line, 1.16 seconds between the top two. And Quentin Moore's starting to lose some momentum, as Mitchell Collins might be trying to run down Quentin Moore to get up to 3rd. And now Dylan Young is actually past Charles Belding to put him behind him. Now it's almost 1 second flat between the top two, as Dylan Poteet definitely running faster than Charles Belding right now. But the laps are winding down really fast. Next time by, it'll be 8 laps to go. Time is running out for Dylan Poteet to get up there and battle it out for the win. Although we got a battle going on here, it's the battle for 3rd between Quentin Moore and Mitchell Collins, 2 rookies in the field. And these two are relatively close in the point standings. They're 22nd and 23rd, 5 points separating between these two. So these two battling it out not only for a 3rd place finish, a podium finish, but also to try and get higher in the rookie points fight. And then we got this battle going on for 5th between Jonathan Zorleen and Charles Sanford, as Sanford trying to get up into 5th so he could get his first top 5 finish of the season. And then we got Daniel Bouchard, who's been running fairly strong all day long in the top 10, pretty much all race long. A great comeback after a rough crash back at Armory Digital this past Monday. As the laps continue to wind down, back up to the front, Charles Belding still hanging on to the lead, as Poteet actually might have used up all he had when he was running up through the field, and also with Belding not really racing Dylan Young right now, that's kind of hurting Dylan Poteet, as it's now less than 5 laps to go. I think the only hope Poteet's going to have is if Belding manages to catch back up to the 2 of Dylan Young and they race it out, That'd be the only chance Dylan Poteet, I think, would have of getting the win here today. Otherwise, I think Belding's pretty much got it. And the margin now, 1.3 seconds. So yeah, Belding's gradually pulling away from the 31 of Poteet. Meanwhile, back here, Mitchell Collins finally passed Quentin Moore to get up to third. And now we see Zorleen and Sanford getting up there into the mix to possibly battle it out for third. So this is the most interesting battle we got going on the racetrack right now. A 4-car fight for the third position, as Zorleen now to the inside of Moore to get up to fourth. And this will actually help Charles Sanford try and make up a spot to get into the top 5 finally. Although Sanford didn't quite capitalize on that, as he couldn't carry the momentum forward through 3 and 4 right there, and Quentin Moore trying to bounce back and get back up to a higher spot. Back up to the leader, Charles Belding, leading by 1.2 seconds over Dylan Poteet, and as long as he doesn't make a mistake, he's good to go as the white flag is out here at Boston. Although 1 second now between the top two, but it's just not enough time for Poteet to make up ground. As we're coming off of turn 2, getting ready to go into turn 3 for the final time. Looks like nothing's going to stop Charles Belding here today. As we're getting ready to come off of 4 for the final time, checkered flag waving, first win of the season. Charles Belding wins the New England 400 at Boston. And I thought it looked like we had a crash take place because there was some debris in 1 and 2. But man, Poteet really tried, but credit to Poteet for trying. And actually teammates, I completely forgot. Teammates out of Pigeon Racing 1-2 today. Belding with the victory, Poteet in second. So it was a great day for Pigeon Racing regardless of anything else. But congrats to Belding. Let's look at the rest of the results. Poteet, I feel like if there was a few more laps, Poteet might have had a chance because he was starting to get back into his where did he come from phase. But still, great finish in the second position, no doubt about it. Mitchell Collins continuing a little bit of momentum that was built at Armory Digital, finishing strong in third. Jonathan Zorleen, more momentum on his side as he gets another top 5 in fourth. And then Quentin Moore, who was the dominant car of the race, still a great top 5 finish in fifth. Charles Sanford going to have to settle with a 6th place finish. Trey Wright with a great top 10 run in 7th. Michael Norman, first top 10 finish in a long time in 8th. Ryan Acosta, solid run in the 9th spot. And then Daniel Bouchard rounding out the top 10. Then there is your top 20, top 30, and then the bottom 5 for this week was Henry Sanford, Keith Miller Jr., William Brock, Dylan Young, and the only car out of the race, Jay Jefferson. Well, that does it for our coverage here today here at Boston, as next up, it's the Southern 500 at Darlington, and that'll be the end of the 2/3 mark of the season. But until then, here is Belding's victory burnout and the point standings heading into Darlington, and this is Levi McIntyre signing off.